Welcome to Deep Heights. My name is Deborah. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a lost and found reading for you. I believe that whatever you are looking for is looking for you. And in whatever aspect that is. So, the theme here, I've got the spread laid out, the bones of the spread laid out here. And what I'm seeing is time and your relationship to time. For whatever situation that you're in, where you're at in your journey, in your life, and the developments and your attitude towards past circumstances and present circumstances, and how you're going to go and move into the future. Because this has to do with a very long journey for you. A very long journey, and it's almost, there's a feeling of disappointment and pain. Things not turning out the way that you've expected has hardened you. And it's what we have lost here is an ability to find joy in the process. And this is very serious because it's in our attitude. I think of Michael Tsarian. Freedom is attitudinal. And what does freedom mean? It's freedom, truth, our ability to choose. I think freedom is almost synonymous with truth, consciousness, balance, and harmony. It's hard to say. Words kind of take away from what the thing is. But joy is a feeling. Joy is a feeling of the heart. Joy is flow. Being able to find the meaning somehow and find your own will to go forward. It makes me think of C.S. Lewis. I'm going to botch the quote like I normally botch quotes, but he was talking about there are some things and some circumstances in life that go beyond just you or the personality or the present moment. They're lessons for the soul, and that is about endurance and going on anyway, because we have soul lessons to learn here, and that's what this is about. This is about soul creation, soul growth, coming back to spirit, to the creator. Do we go back to spirit? Are we ever away from spirit? Because when we're in time, when we're in this realm, this reality, whatever that may be, there's always a feeling of separateness. That's why we want to come together with people in any sort of way. But in your experience, what you are experiencing now is extremely difficult, and it's stolen your joy and your will, your fire. There are negatives and positives because we always need to step back, to retreat, to get into that hanged man energy of looking at things from different perspectives. And hanged man energy to me is kind of, it's uncomfortable. We have to see things we don't really want to see about ourselves, because it's important to see things about other people, but the most important person that we need to know and understand is ourselves, and see the truth about ourselves. Sometimes that's disappointing, or the truth of our reality. You're forgetting your accomplishments. You're forgetting all that you are, your fire. You're putting out your own fire. Show you these cards. So in what's lost, we have Geo the Slow and Mickle-a-Muckle. We are in time. Passengers in time, to quote the song. How are we approaching that? How are you approaching that right now? Clarifying that, we have the Knight of Wands and the Six of Wands as what's lost. The passion to pursue what makes us happy. Full speed ahead. Despite restrictions, despite circumstances, despite setbacks, despite loss. So let's look at what's gained here. We have the Oakmen and Friends. getting back into a better relationship with time. You know, the oak man, this is a very old energy. Think of the oldest oak trees before they were cut, right? They stand for ages, they grow. They have a lot of knowledge. The trees see, the trees communicate. Think of the druids. Duir, the door, the doorway, right? You have friends. And I think that you're finding that, and it's going to be in your approach and in your attitude. Clarifying this, we have the Strength card, the Three of Swords, and the Moon. And there's friction here, because the Strength card is the Sun and Jupiter, luck and expansion. And we have the Moon, passive, reflective, illusions, depression. There's a depressive energy, especially with this Three of Swords, and these are like blockages, but we must harmonize them, and it's painful. It's like friction, you know, things coming together. And our attitude in accepting that and really evaluating how you want to live your life. You're only as happy or as unhappy as you make up your mind to be. So, at the bottom of the deck, we have Mick the Myomancer. And I'm beginning this reading about the body being hardened, because myo in medical terminology means muscle. You know, and here it's a hardening of our body, because the soul is the body. At the split, we have the feline. If we're, you know, the feline doesn't give unless he's getting something in return. You know, there's no joy with the feline, you know. And he's like a grumpus, you know. There are good aspects to him because he's very practical and everything gets done if he's filling out of forms. You know, everything is very, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, you know, spell checked, and, you know, but it's no flow, you know, there's no flow with the feline and no joy in giving. We don't give to receive. We don't give to win, you know, we give for the joy of giving. Flowers don't bloom for you to notice. They bloom because that's what they do. Because it's joy and the growth. And it's temporary. It's temporal. Let's open up here. Let's get some clarifiers. Say they're slow to speak. You know, patience is needed for whatever you're experiencing, and you want to allow yourself to feel that thing about that hanged man energy, which isn't even here. I just kind of feel that is that, and needing a different perspective and a different approach through the process that's uncomfortable. You know, because what's found, you know, I'm thinking of this Three of Swords. I've said before, just to myself, there aren't really any words for this energy. It's a pain in the heart. It's a weeping. This energy is wept. And the important thing with the Three of Swords energy is that we go on anyway. If it's raining on the road and our heart is breaking, it's continuously breaking, because that's part of the journey, and the sun still shines. You know, I was sitting outside yesterday and it was raining and the sun is shining, just looked beautiful. The water falling through the oaks. The flowers still grow. Finding that joy within yourself again is so important. Okay. Pushing upward is the card we have here. the determination of self, self-determination, the will to exist, the will to be happy, to be joyful. The body is the temple. Talking about that hanged man energy. All of this energy here of hardening, of body armoring. If you're interested in anything like that, you can read Alexander Lowin or Wilhelm Reich, Heroes of Mind. To accept that one is in the right place is deeply spiritual. So where you are in time is exactly where you're supposed to be. Instead of looking at it as like, I'm unhappy. I don't want to be here. This isn't where I want to be. It's card 65. You know, 6 is about health. That vibration, I think. The vibratory of 6. 5 is change and difficulty. It's like going from a positive movement forward and a victory over the mind, the heart, the body, the spirit. It's stepping backwards in time, stuck in time somehow. Increase, gate 42, growth. It's difficult. It's really, really difficult. We have a tree here on the back of this card. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful imagery. This fire. It's like if you've ever lived anywhere where there are wildfires and they'll ravish, the land, totally destructive, eat it up. Some trees burn, some don't. They're able to stand strong against the fires of time, the storms of time, the changes in time. The oakman. You must be able to stand strong for this and know that it's passing. Don't lose your joy, because what you're finding, what's looking to find you, what you're looking to find is looking to find you, if you allow it. Allow joy in. This card is friends, the friends, with the oakmen, with the trees, with nature, your relationship to nature, your respect for nature, honoring nature, the wisdom of centuries. And you want to throw it away for circumstance, for a feeling, for a loss that's temporal, when what it's helping you to achieve is soul growth. It's difficult, as I'm saying. The 3 of Swords. You have help, and I also see the Strength card and the Moon card is the Sun and the Moon. Masculine and feminine energies reflecting each other. But being able to do this wisely requires you to have a different perspective, because if you're looking through a lens of pain, if you're looking at the world through only your losses and disappointments, of course you're not going to see things clearly. It's a thief of joy. Stepping into a different relationship with it is what's going to help you with this, to push upward with this increase. The grail is the experience. Completing a cycle is the heart of growth. Feels like we never complete a cycle sometimes. If we keep repeating them, we go round and round on the wheel, we lose heart, we lose stamina. What are you trying to build? What are you trying to achieve? These are serious questions you must ask yourself. Are you just going to give up? Give in? Let them take your soul, your spirit, your light? Don't do that. You have value and worth. zombie on the bottom of the deck. Is that the energy that you want to become? Lifeless, soulless, flesh-eating, mindless, consumer of nothing, destroyer. That's not who you are, you know it. What's hidden here, please? The graveyard. Wow, okay. So we have Skull of Stars on the bottom of the deck. Think of Oscar Wilde. We're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars, right? The graveyard. I'm really drawn to the stone imagery here. Unnecessary fear. Tombs, being entombed in your own body, being dead in your own body. The Skull of Stars. It starts here and here. You have to decide and take action. And I see at the bottom of the deck here at the split, I'm looking at the King of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Ooh. I do think that you're going to find your will again. And that you have a connection to spirit, to source. And that's a never-ending fountain of healing, of joy. So you can take action. The King of Wands is brilliant. He is the lion. Has Leo energy of joy. He's very joyous in what he does. He shares, offers his help to his community, to other people. He is abundant. The stallion. Freedom. It's talking about freedom. Being synonymous with truth. Creativity, creation. This acorn imagery. King of acorns is the wands in this deck. Acorn to oak. In an acorn there are 1,000 trees, you know. The Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. You know, you are the acorn. And we go through these processes, and it takes time. How much time do you really think that it takes for an acorn to become an oak? It takes time. Growth. You know, as humans in our world today, everything is so fast. You want to see and have everything now. And it doesn't work that way. Not for the soul. Not for, I don't know, but it just doesn't. Not here in this situation. Below this is interesting. We have the Empress and the Two of Cups. Being able to share it and having enough, because the Empress here is Yavanna. She's the creator of nature, of beauty. Think of these magical forests with moss and shade and all kinds of mystical creatures, you know. The Two of Cups. When we are happy and when we are in abundance, we draw others in. I mean, it attracts. So I'm saying what you're looking for is looking for you. With the friends. With connection, pure connection, and the joy of those connections. Because you feel very alone, isolated here in your pain and this difficulties, like you're buried here in this graveyard. You're entombed, but it's self-imposed. You're entombed in your body. It is a prison, becomes a prison to you, but that's a choice. Belief. change. 12. Hangman. Feel him. Feel that energy. Okay. And it's stepping up. We have the 11 to the 12 here. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to Source. You're never alone. You're never alone. And it's up to you. You know, we look for the answers in other people, and we can read books or talk to people, and we do all kinds of things when it's all always right here. It's all right here. Because you must believe with your whole body. It's a difficult but very easy change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. This is a lost and found reading. We must let go of the past. The Hangman energy is positive, but in a negative aspect, it stays stuck. We're not supposed to stay stuck forever in this energy. But say we are, right? Say we're always tied to time, tied to the wheel. Always imprisoned, you know. We're stuck in the graveyard, in the tomb. What are you going to do? I think of Tolkien. He said that if a man is imprisoned, he is obligated to use his imagination. He must. You must be free in your belief, no matter what the circumstances are, and in your joy and in your heart. And it makes me want to cry because it's so intense, and it's a gift. It's a gift that we have in spirit, from spirit. It's just like the star. 11 indeed is the 11th house of Aquarius. You know, creation, brilliant ideas, communication, bioenergy, allowing that to flow through you again. Alexander Lowndes very present in this reading. You know, pick the book up, Bioenergetics. You can look it up online. It helped me tremendously. It's really nice here. Let's get an animal energy. Who's here to guide you? Who's here to guide the watcher on this journey, this transition? You know, breaking out of this marble statue that you've become with your heart. You know, I see that, like, because it's like what's lost is like your joy in your heart to just expand. You know, break your own chains. This Knight of Wands with the Six of Wands, to have this ultimate victory over whatever is constricting you. You know, think of like an oak tree. It expands. You know, it gets deeper and it goes higher, and they get wider. They expand. You know, increase, pushing upward, also downward. You know, because the deeper the roots, the higher the tree, you know, the bigger. Greatness, you know, strength. Removing obstacles. What's standing in your way? Ayn Rand, Roark. And I ask him, you know, the question isn't who's going to let me. The question is who's going to stop me. And the main answer, and that is always yourself. You are not a victim of circumstance. That's a choice. Life's difficult. It hurts, I know. I know how painful it is. I know how painful this energy is. I've had many knives through my heart. Many. But I have to find that will within me to keep going on. I don't want to stay stuck. I don't want to see you stay stuck. Break free. Learn to move, like the chakras. They're wheels, they're moving. You and your center is a spinning movement. It's a dance through life, through the change. Move that and it expands. You move upward, you move downward, and you move out. Flow. Who's helping you? Who's helping the Watcher Spirit? The dragonfly and the camel. Camel energy always speaks to me about long passages of time, journeys through the desert. You go hungry, you go thirsty. It's a long journey. But the dragonfly energy is light. It's watery, it's emotional, it's beautiful. I read recently about dragonflies that they have 2 sets of wings because the extra set is for an angel that's flying with them. A good friend of mine, she sees them, and anyway. It's a heavy emotional energy, but it's also light because it can carry both. It carries you in spirit here. Keep going. Don't stay stuck in time, in the past, or in the future. Just go. I don't know where it's going to bring you. And that's the beauty. But it's the joy of the journey. The bottom of the deck we have enjoy. Strawberry. Sorry. There's sweetness here and beauty for you. If you would embrace it. Because how can you taste life like the burst of joy of something sweet and fresh in death when you're stuck? So what's come out is repel and adversity. You can't harden yourself and shut yourself off from life because you're afraid of it, or afraid of pain, or afraid of having the repeated experiences. As we go through life, or we think that we've learned lessons, or if we get into relationships with people, we take jobs, we move, we enter into new experiences, and we can become greatly disappointed if someone hurts us, betrays us, the job doesn't work out, we don't like it, we're unhappy with our circumstances. Because we come up against the will and desires of other people. It doesn't always mix. It doesn't always mix. And that's very painful. Like the sun and the moon energy. It's very difficult. I can say that. And there's real pain here. Great pain. But there's more pain in becoming hardened. Because in that is death. With the big D. where you're not able to regenerate because you've lost your joy. Beneath and joy is growth. You can't grow if your body's hardened, if your heart is hardened. Think of a seed that grows through the concrete. They break concrete. Little bitty plants grow up and break concrete. Persistence. The need for growth because we are wanting the sun. You must believe it. No one can believe it for you. If you're in the gutter, look at the stars. Find the beauty in the darkness. Happiness and rebirth. This horse here, the stallion. It's King of Wands, Ace of Cups energy. Being reborn with this acorn. I'll put that quote that I love so much from Emerson, I'll put it in the description box because I always mess it up even though I've read it 1,000 times. In the Ace of Cups we have happiness and abundance. Friends. The joy of it. The Ace of Cups is also about rebirth. We are cleansed in the water. We are cleansed in spirit and peace. Mercy. Forgiveness. The turtle has a shell, his home is where he makes it, he carries it, he is his home. Your body is your home. Take care of it. I hope that this reading has helped you to better understand your choices and that it is up to you. I believe in you. I hope that you also can believe in yourself. I wish you joy. I hope to see you again.